road to power is paved with hypocrisy and casualties. Never regret. It's not beginning the story that I fear. It's not knowing how it will end. Everyone is fair game now. There are two types of vice presidents, doormats and matadors. Which do you think I intend to be? The only thing more satisfying than convincing someone to do what I want is failing to persuade them on purpose. It's like a do not enter sign. It just begs you to walk through the door.
From the lion's den to a pack of wolves, when you're fresh meat, kill and throw them something fresher.
Even Achilles was only as strong as his heel.
Cry havoc, said he who fought chaos with chaos and let slip the dogs of war.
Every now and then, when we are bombarded with a multitude of fetid bovine droppings and a cacophony of bombastic blowhards seeking to use the political muck and mire to their advantage, I find it comforting to take in a few episodes of the Netflix series House of Cards. Not simply because the duplicity and duping of sycophants is dead on the money for Inside the Beltway, but to re-energize with a real lesson in how to play the game of being elected and rising to power. For when I find the airwaves and internet lines bursting at the seams with what can only be called the futile and fetid droppings of the desperate, I wish that we were there to truly desire a great verbal war and get one, and honestly seek to change the minds of those voters with neither the inclination nor sometimes even the brain cells to seek out the truth. They would take a lesson from Frank Underwood and deal in something even slightly more interesting and certainly more creative.
What Jeanne Shaheen is doing is despicable. Her lies and scare tactics are, quite frankly, disappointing.
Scott Brown is calling Senator Jeanne Shaheen's latest ad an insensitive and inaccurate smear. The piece centers on a bill Brown co-sponsored in 2005 when he served in the Massachusetts State Senate.
In Massachusetts, Scott Brown pushed for a law to force women considering abortion, force them to look at color photographs of developing fetuses.
This bill that she's referring to, that by the way was filed over 9 years ago and was never even voted on, and shown in her ad, did not force women to do anything.
While Brown is calling on Senator Shaheen to pull the ad off the air, the Shaheen campaign says it is 100% accurate.
He says he's pro-choice, but when you look at his record and how he voted, you discover that he's not.
Charges made in the ad were apparently so correct and without question that Senator Shaheen's campaign pulled it almost immediately. It would seem having neither the intestinal fortitude for a fight nor the chance to have the language used, proven little more than rhetorical rubbish in the light of day, was something she wished to stomach. But this phony and farcical war on women remains something members of a certain political persuasion insist on making part of their discourse, no matter how laughable it is to those in attendance.
30 seconds for your question.
Thank you. Tom, it seems to me you're part of the war against women. You've supported continued... Wait.
Please, everybody, please.
I get a little time, right?
Yes.
You've supported continued wage discrimination against women by blocking the Paycheck Fairness Act. You voted against women's right to choose even in cases of rape and incest. You voted to give employers the right to decide about their employees' birth control. You've been a mayor and a bill collector. You've been a lawyer, and you're a lawyer and a Washington politician. Please tell me, what gives you the medical expertise to make these decisions for women?
You know, as I hear this question, Martha, I just have to say, it's false. It's false. This is political rhetoric at its worst.
Serious, trustworthy analysts and waffling, hysterical windbags alike are all trying to decide why this certain political persuasion seems to be preparing for a fall soon, but truly it takes little in the way of deep pondering. There is no war on women. It has been a fraud and it remains so, and a good portion of the American voter base is beginning to see it for what it is. Another dodge, another cliche, another political comedic pratfall by those who would rather, you know what I'm going to say, hold fast in their belief voters are too stupid to seek out the truth and remain willing slaves to 15-second sound bites. Show them you're smarter than that, America, or pay the price. Again, believe me, Frank Underwood would be happy. And that is telling it like it is. The next hour here on Midpoint, the battle between governors, the feds, and lawyers over Ebola quarantines, Russia enjoying a fling back to the Cold War, and the standard Sunday slamming from the news programs. It's all right here on Midpoint, where we question everything.